I think we're live here. All right. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we are here to review the Elimination Chamber 2025. Who is heading to WrestleMania? What did Cody say to The Rock? And what surprises did we get? I'm here to tell you all of this and more. But before I do, please, if you don't mind, hitting that subscribe button, dropping a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a stream from us. But without further ado, and of course, shout out and thanks to Chris Muller for the Bleacher Report. We got a lot to discuss, and a lot went down. So, the show obviously opened up with its recapping of how the structure came together. They need to stop doing kickoffs. WWE kind of needs to stop doing the kickoff for 2 hours. They really do. And I say that because there are older people and we tend to get tired. But I tried my best to get sober, or try my best to fucking get drunk while watching this, and boy was it hell. So they need to stop with the 2 hour kickoffs, revert back to like an hour and a half kickoff or an hour kickoff, because this 2 hour shit isn't working. It's not for 4 fucking nope, it's not working. Not at all. A bunch of recaps and a bunch of fucking, no, it doesn't work. Spent most of it watching the kickoff and the fucking pay-per-view, honestly. But we started off with the Women's Elimination Chamber, which I knew we were going to. So, and we were most likely to end with the men's. So, the PLE began with the Women's Chamber match, where Bliss was the first competitor to make her entrance and enter a pod. The 2 women chosen to open the match were none other than, of course, Naomi and Morgan. Of course, that meant Bianca, Bayley, and Roxanne were locked into pod. As the bell rang and the contest was about to begin, Jade Cargill came to the ring, and instead of attacking Morgan, who we thought is the attacker, Naomi's like, hey, you gonna get your ass beat now. Jade Cargill attacked Naomi, which is probably what everybody was expecting, because a lot of people thought that it was them. It was Bianca and it was Naomi who attacked Jade Cargill and kicked her out of action. And it made sense for Naomi. A lot of people were like, well, what about Bianca? Well, look at Bianca in the pod. She was pleading for the Storm to stop, pleading from inside the pod for this to stop. Now, Bianca, of course, crazy as it was, Bianca, I should have known from the beginning, like, if this was going to happen, if Jade was going to come back and attack Naomi, and I should have known Bianca was going to win. I didn't think it. And the fact that they took the tag team titles off of them to put it on Morgan and Raquel was a good idea, but I didn't think Bianca was going to win, because I thought it was going to be Bianca and the Storm. They talked about this. They talked about fighting at WrestleMania before. Like, Belair has made it very clear that she wants to. But the Glow took out Jade because she felt like a third wheel. Plus, if you think about last year's Royal Rumble, who eliminated who? Jade Cargill eliminated Naomi, remember? So Cargill left and Naomi was declared unfit to fight and was taken away off a stretcher. So Morgan had to sit there and wait for her next competitor. I thought this was fucking lazy as fuck. Honestly, this was lazy as fuck. But we knew the next competitor out was Bianca Belair. She tried to get to Naomi outside the cage until Morgan attacked her and started throwing her around in the chamber. Finally, we can get the chamber match started. Like, I'm sorry, but why couldn't we have had the Storm fucking come out, like, have Liv Morgan eliminate Naomi and have, like, if you're going to come down to Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan, have Naomi be eliminated by Morgan, then save that last bit for Morgan and Belair. And save fucking SmackDown. Save yourself a match. Have Liv Morgan and Naomi. Right? Have that fucking be the match you start with on SmackDown. And have Jade Cargill come out and ruin it. Have Bianca be like, what the hell are you doing, And then have her get attacked too. Because this all sets it up. This all sets up everything for what could possibly be a great main event for WrestleMania. But no, they did it here. They wasted fucking a match to do it here. But again, having Jade come back in return in Toronto, honestly, probably the best idea. But they could have saved it for SmackDown. So I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of walking here like, well, I'm kind of walking this fine line, man. Like, I want to say it's bad, but it's also not good. So we'll just leave it as it is. Anyway, Naomi was the only person who had been, is the only person who had been eliminated by the time all the competitors were in the match. Surprisingly, Bayley was the next elimination, as she was soon followed by Perez. Perez was eliminated by Bliss, and Bayley was eliminated by Morgan. Morgan would then eliminate Bliss to narrow the field down to her and Belair. I did get Bliss right, coming out number 6, so that's a correct prediction, I guess. But it wasn't a correct prediction on my behalf, because both women came close to winning several times before it came down to Belair hitting the KOD for the 1-2-3. A fun chamber match from start to finish, although some fans may have been upset that one of the competitors was taken out before the beginning. Of course, myself. Other than that, the crowd was hyped for everything. Bianca winning was a good choice, but how the story unfolds with her, Naomi, and Cargill is going to be interesting to watch. Exactly. Now, I can only assume WWE for the 7 weeks that we have for leading up to WrestleMania, the 29th of March looks pretty fucking good for a Saturday night main event. I'm telling you, the 29th of March looks pretty good for a Saturday night main event. You're closing up 4 weeks, and then you get 2 extra more weeks to build to WrestleMania, while also using your build time for the 4 weeks we got in March. So, honestly, March 29th could be a good date for a Saturday night main event in the meantime. Nothing been confirmed yet, but I would put a Saturday night main event somewhere in there to kind of fill up some of the gaps that we are missing, because I don't think a 7-week build to WrestleMania, I believe in a 5-week build to a big pay-per-view like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. But we need a Saturday night main event to kind of clear some things up. And this right here, this story of Naomi, Cargill, and Belair, this might need some clarification and clearing up. I'm not mad at the winner. Bianca Belair was the right choice. I mean, her and Ripley were going to face each other at sometime. If you think about it, they've been teasing this for 2 years now. So again, I'm not mad as much. Yes, I know who was mad. I accept the grade for a B. The Toronto crowd heavily booed the U.S. national anthem because, of course, it's a political statement, unfortunately. But I'm glad that they followed into the Canadian theme song right after the boos. I heard the boos. I was like, are they booing the national anthem? But they did follow suit with the Canada national anthem. So, respects. Belair did a great job looking emotional after her best friend was taken out. Morgan is so used to being a smaller competitor that it must have been nice for a change to see her outsized by Roxanne. True. So, all of this was good, and at one moment, Morgan used Belair's braid to send her into the cage several times. That was, again, her hair was going to be used a lot. Following next, we had a tag team match. Of course, Toronto's own Trish Stratus teaming up with Tiffany Stratton to take on Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. So, of course, the Poison Pixie and the seven-time champ began for their teams. Trish hit a Threads press to get things started. It didn't take long for the fight to spill out of the ring, so all 4 women could get involved. Usually, like matches happen, they do tend to spill outside the ring, and that's a good time for WWE to use commercial breaks. But this is a PLE, so we don't get no commercial breaks. Ha fuckers. There were times when it looked like Stratus was hesitant to do something. But then other times when she threw herself into the move she was doing. It took her a little time to get comfortable in the ring again. Of course, because she's more of a yoga instructor and she's got to have a little ring rust. But she got there eventually. After a sweet hot tag, there was a bit of a lull, if I'm saying it right, in the middle of the bout, but they usually started picking up the pace again. While the match was bookended by some entertaining action, it felt like they slowed down too much in the middle. Stratton was able to pick up the victory by hitting, of course, her signature moonsault on Jax for the 1-2-3. I thought Candice LeRae was going to take the pinfall. I guess not here. I think Jax pretty good taking the pinfall. B-. Again, a couple of little spots that didn't look great. But hey, you know what? It's good. And a lot of baby faces went with white gear during the show. So you know what? Even respects there too. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the two Canadians that put up a great fight in this, actually got well-received praise for their match. The announcers began by reiterating that there are no rules, and WWE takes no responsibility for what happens during this unsanctioned match. The lights were turned down in the arena, as, of course, unsanctioned matches are usually no lights or lights out matches. So, this is great. But they fought all over Toronto, just like they needed to do, and this match was pretty fantastic. I would suggest go watching it. Kevin Owens threw the first punch, and then it was off to the races, as Sami Zayn was selling his injured neck a lot in the early moments. It didn't take long for them to start digging around under the ring for weapons. A few steel chairs, grabbed out some tables, even stacked a table on top of a table. Kevin Owens doing that. Sami Zayn at one point grabbed a hockey stick, which got a big Canadian pop. This was a brutal fight that took both men into the crowd and used everything they could to inflict damage. 2 times, Michael Cole mentioned fucking blue thunder bombs through tables on the outsides. The crowd was eating it up as the friends turned rivals punished each other. This wasn't a typical contest, so it's tougher to judge it against the rest of the card. True. Technical ability wasn't as important as brutal every spot looked. Or as how brutal every spot looked. True. Even without lots of blood, this felt appropriately violent. Everything they did looked convincing, and the ferocious crowd added to the intense feel of the fight. Owens and Zayn continued to find their way to make their matches feel more and more intense over time, as they elevate each other in ways others should study. They are the perfect rivals, and they are. They're best friends. They have chemistry. This is, honestly, if you want to set up a personal feud, this is your personal feud right here. This is all fucking amazing. I take the time to go watch this match. Sami Zayn used a chair wrapped in barbed wire several times, but Owens still found a way to kick out. Owens, of course, eventually hit a pop-up powerbomb on the apron, just like he did the first night when Sami Zayn was in NXT, or when even Kevin Owens showed up in NXT. After one more, he rolled Sami Zayn into the ring for the pin, and he got the victory. This was one of those matches you just need to go see for yourself. Because no recap will do it justice. And it looked like Owens was going to try to attack Zayn following the match, most likely package pile driving him through the concrete. But someone hears voices in his head, and that person's name is the Viper, the apex predator, Randy Orton. Randy Orton came out. He took out the prizefighter with an RKO, but we had to have security come out and deal with this crap because Randy was going to punt Owens in the head. So Owens got out, and Randy RKO'd every security guard there was. RKO to you. Hey, sir, you want a handshake? RKO to you. Hey, you know what? You're okay, but I'm going to dust that off, right? RKO for you, too. So we know what we're getting for WrestleMania, if you guys haven't already got it. It kind of sucks. One of the bad bookings here is that we didn't get a kind of, referee stoppage kind of thing here, but we did get Owens defeating Zayn, which was my prediction already. Not only that, but we're going to get Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to feud at WrestleMania again. Looking at it last year compared to where, of course, they were in a triple threat match and they had Logan Paul to beat up. And everybody was against Logan Paul. So we're going to get Randy Orton and Kevin Owens finishing off where they left off, which is, of course, brutalizing the neck of Randy Orton. The bump Zayn took through the 2 tables was wild, and I do agree. He got pushed, and oh my god, I thought it was over. But you know what? We still got more to go. Because the men's elimination chamber. Logan Paul was the first man to enter the pod for the men's chamber. Of course, McIntyre and Rollins began as the first 2 men in the ring. Of course, by the order of the competitors coming out. If you see, I got Cena's position right. Everybody else was kind of mixed match. I thought Punk should have came out here and had that little triple threat match that we've been that WWE's kind of teased, but never got to, because they've all faced each other at one point, if not another. But The Toronto crowd was more anti-Paul than anything else because, of course, a lot of people probably thought, including myself, which I did, Paul was going to eliminate Cena, which would have drawn more heat. So, of course, the cheers and boos depended on whether he was being beaten up or doing the beating for some time. Surprisingly, though, McIntyre was eliminated first. Wow. Even though I thought Priest was going to get eliminated. McIntyre got eliminated first by Damian Priest, who just rolled him up for a 3 count. But Priest obviously got hit by McIntyre, which set up Paul to eliminate Priest with a frog splash from the top of the pod. A few moments later, Punk eliminated the Maverick with a GTS that got a huge pop after especially slapping him in the face, which I did get right. I did say that Punk would eliminate Paul. A potential match for them to set up is in the works, but that also works for the WWE because you've seen their back and forth spit swap match. Basically, war of words. Punk turned down a handshake from Cena and hugged him instead, but they started throwing punches. Now, Rollins, Cena, and Punk were the final 3, which there was another road that I led down which stated that, which, Cena could have eliminated Paul, and we come down to Punk and Cena, and I've said that. If you guys don't remember, go watch the predictions video. I most likely went with the other one, which is Paul eliminating Cena to draw some more heat for him, and then Punk eliminating Paul because of that thing, and then Punk most likely eliminating Rollins. And Punk eliminating Rollins is what happened because Punk, Rollins, and Cena had a lot of history between them. So the final 3 spent a lot of time in the ring together. Cena spent several times recovering after being put through one of the pod windows. Once he recovered, he and Punk both hit Rollins with a signature move to eliminate him. Rollins stayed at ringside and hit Punk with a stomp before watching Cena made the best in the world pass out to the STF to score the win and earn the title shot against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. The way this match was structured was surprising, but with so many big names, 1 or 2 eliminations were bound to feel early. Putting that aside, most of what we got here was entertaining. Yes, 100%. It was entertaining. It was very fun to see these guys. Even Paul going out of his way to create viral moments, like jumping off the top of the pod and eliminating Damian Priest. But again, this whole structure of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, this sets up for them to have a feud at WrestleMania some point, hopefully down the line, and it works. As for Logan Paul, I am not entirely sure. We could get Logan Paul and AJ Styles opposed to Braun Breaker and AJ Styles, but again, the future is uncertain. As for Punk and Rollins, we could be looking at a triple threat match featuring Roman Reigns too, or a one-on-one match from the moment that they wrestled at the first night on Netflix to WrestleMania in April. With Cena winning, it's very good. Plus, the various feuds were addressed felt natural, and the way some eliminations happened set up some potential matches down the line. Exactly. Damian Priest and McIntyre, Punk and Paul, Rollins and Punk. It sets up a lot. The announcers were too happy to see Paul. The Visionary being cheered by Punk as he beat up McIntyre was hilarious, of course. Punk and Cena hit a heart attack on Rollins was a fun moment, and a bunch of these moments were great. This honestly, now, we're not done yet. I want to honestly edit this grade right here, okay? I want to add to this, okay? I want to add to this. Now, if you saw the grades beforehand, for example, of course, I agree this is a B. This is a B minus. I agree this is an A. That's all it's going to be. But as for the Men's Elimination Chamber, I want to kind of give this grade with some more. I want to change this grade. So it's not a B. For the Men's Elimination Chamber as a whole, a B plus is best. But to connect the segment with the Elimination Chamber is probably the best way to go. And the best way to do this is by right now saying that the Elimination Chamber itself as a whole, let's say the segment with The Rock and Cody does not happen. This is a B plus at best. B plus at best. Now, add the segment with it. Let's talk about what happened. Cena just won the Chamber. And while Cena still being in the ring following his win with the Chamber, we knew what was next. The segment between The Rock asking for Cody Rhodes' soul to end the pay-per-view. But they weren't alone because, remember, Travis Scott was with The Rock for some reason, and John Cena was there too. Now, when you look at how Travis Scott was all dressed up, this is going to be a remembrance, a callback to 1996. If you don't remember 1996, that's okay. 1996 was the year that Hogan, yes, Hulk Hogan, turned his back on the fans. And of course, the same year that he teamed up with, was it Dennis Rodman? I think it was Dennis Rodman, who was in the ring with him during the NWO era, or when he was Hollywood Hogan. The Rock asked Cody to embrace him and accept his offer, while Scott began smoking in the corner next to Cena. The American Nightmare said he had already given his soul to the ring and the fans. And then he told of course, Rocky, Rock, go fuck yourself. And that's word for word. He did say right here, literally, go fuck yourself, which got a major pop, and Cena was running around and was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Cena, of course, applauded Rhodes' decision, and he, of course, gave him a hug, a Super Cena hug. All the while, Cena and The Rock stared at each other in the eyes, and Rock looked at Cena, and Cena looked at Rock menacingly. Motionless for a long time, The Rock gave him the signal. As Cena hugged the Nightmare, he delivered a kick to the groin, knocking Rhodes down, and John Cena, for what a lot of people don't know, for the second time. Now, technically, this is the first time Cena has ever turned heel. Yes. But if we're going out of his entire fucking career, we're pulling and picking teeth out of John Cena's career, he has turned heel twice, including this one and back in 2002. Now, if you don't remember, Cena's Dr. Thugonomics gimmick was his heel gimmick. He was booed like, I don't even want to say religiously, but he was fucking booed. Okay? Now, the reason people kind of sidetrack that heel turn, and WWE kind of does not correct themselves and say, you know what? Yeah, he's been babyface for practically ever. Yes. He hasn't turned heel once. No, Cena, Dr. Thugonomics gimmick was supposed to be his heel gimmick, but because the fans rallied behind that gimmick so much, they booed him at first and back in like 02, 03, but by 04 they were behind it. They were definitely behind it. And it's like Becky Lynch, right? Becky Lynch was trying to do her heel gimmick, her man heel gimmick, right? But she got cheered instead, right? Same thing kind of happened here. Same thing kind of happened with the Dr. Thugonomics gimmick. But for this is the very first time, as a true wrestling fan, that we are seeing John Cena turn like heel. Like he is a fucking heel completely. So after he delivered the low blow and turned heel for the technical second time, but in reality, this is the major first time he actually turned heel and made it like very visibly clear he is a heel. The Rock watched as Cena took Rhodes, just pulled, fucking just brutalized him. Now at one point, Cena, what appeared to look like what Michael Cole said had brass knuckles. No, that was Cody's watch. It was Rolex. Rock watched Cena basically pull Cody apart while the crowd gave mixed reactions. Some were happy to see Cena turn heel after so many goddamn years, and others were unhappy to see it happen this way. I don't know what the IWC feels, and I don't give a fuck what the IWC feels. What I feel is, honestly, I like it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I like it. I'm going to be one of those fans that is happy to see Cena turn heel. He hasn't done it in so many years, and it's better to get it out of the way first so we can save a bunch of that fun, happy-go-lucky Cena time for later by the end of this year. Right? I think WWE was thinking, like, we're going to do this. We're going to go out. You're going to go out there. You're going to have some fun. You're going to be a heel, though. And this is going to be the first time you ever fucking, like, actually turn heel. Like, the fans are going to want to boo you. Plus, it makes sense, too. And I wanted to talk about this during, like, I think Royal Rumble. Cena didn't need to win the Rumble, even though it was his last Rumble. It was really good. But let's be honest for a minute. Let's be honest for a quick second. Cena turning heel now is great. And I'm going to tell you why. So, when I thought about it more, and it made more sense to me. If Cena wanted to turn heel now in his last run, I'm okay with it. And the reason I'm okay with it is because when you think about the reasons Cena's been a babyface for so long, Cena was the main guy in the company, right? He was the top merchandise seller. He was the top he was the top prize holder in the company, and he was Vince McMahon's kind of like favorite out of the 4 superstars that he had chosen. Of course, like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, and Batista. John Cena stood out amongst all of them when Rock went into Hollywood. See you, Rock. When Stone Cold Steve Austin left. See you, Stone Cold. Right? Hulk Hogan. Yeah, well, fuck yourself, Hogan. Cena stepped up and he actually made something of himself. And for a long time, he's been a babyface. And he was a part of merchandise sales. And now I understood when you look at the merchandise sales from 2023 and 2024, take a look at who's at the top. Guys like Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio. You don't see John Cena anywhere, or maybe even the women's, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, fucking Bayley, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, right? Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi. You don't see John Cena reaching those heights. I forgot to mention Jey Uso as well. You don't see Cena in that list anymore. And Cena now feels kind of comfortable. And WWE feels like, okay, well, we have other stars. We can put merchandise out there and sell that shit. But John Cena, oh my God, you're a fucking legend. You're not nowhere near the top anymore. Because he left and he went to Hollywood. So, I'm happy that Cena finally, like, clearly we can see Cena's turned heel and sold his soul to The Rock instead of Cody. And this now sets up a perfect WrestleMania. Like, this sets up so many things for WrestleMania. Cena winning his 17th championship as a heel. What a fucking, what craziness. It is mind-blowing to see. Soon as it was clear Cena was not going to leave the ring, the heel turn was telegraphed, and the revolution was televised. But it still had a big impact because the veteran had been a babyface for so long. It may not have made sense. It might not make sense right now, and I say this too. It may not make sense right now, but seeing a villainous Cena is going to be a fun change in his final year in WWE, and it should feel that way. It should feel. This might not make sense now, but it will later. For the future is uncertain. And if you take this segment and you combine it with the men's elimination chamber, I'm going to tell you right now, A+++++++. This was a great idea. To have Cena now sell his soul to The Rock. Could we possibly say that Cena is Homelander? And what's Cody? Cody is, I don't know right now. We don't know what Cody is. But if Cena has already sold his soul to The Rock, and he's going to be the corporate champion, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be The Rock's champion. Right? This is insane. This is fucking insane. They wanted to pick and pull stories from the late 90s Attitude Era. They wanted to pick and pull stories, and this is picking and pulling stories, just like picking and pulling teeth, man. This is fucking amazing. To have Rhodes look at The Rock and say, go fuck yourself, well, guess what? Now you're going to get fucked, because at WrestleMania, John Cena could be taking that title away from Cody Rhodes. But it's going to be amazing to see Cody put up that fight. I cannot wait. And yes, combine those two, A++++. The final word of this, of course, the most talked about moment coming out of this event is Cena's not so shocking heel turn. Well, to me, it's kind of shocking. To old wrestling fans, it's fucking shocking. But it was also a great show as a whole. Both chamber matches were enjoyable and had winners that felt right given the stories being told, but not one thing stood out above everything else. Zayn and Owens put on an instant classic that adds another chapter to their 20-year story It was as fun as it was violent, which is exactly what it needed to be. Naomi being attacked by Jade Cargill was another memorable moment, but it won't be important until she elaborates on why she did it. Now, of course, I don't think Cargill has to explain why she did it, right? It's more of Naomi, why did you attack Cargill? Why did you do it? You know what I mean? This was a solid show from top to bottom, and it's going to keep fans talking this week as we lead, of course, 7 more weeks. 7 weeks. We are 7 weeks away from WrestleMania. From yesterday and today, 7 fucking weeks. If we can make it 7 weeks, guys, we're fine. But this final little segment here is going to keep fans talking for a week. So it accomplished its goal of making WrestleMania 41 more intriguing, and that's the goal, right? That's the accomplishment of achieving our goals. Our goals is to make WrestleMania feel more like I want to go. So combine the men's chamber with the final segment, and we've got ourselves a plus that needs to go be like studied and looked at. Also, Sami Zayn and Owens needs to be watched for yourselves if you guys want to, watch anything. This was a fun chamber match. I hope the Toronto crowd had a great time watching it, because it was fucking amazing top to bottom, like they said. From top to bottom, solid show. And I agree. Overall grade, A fucking plus, man. A plus. Like, add that. Cena's heel turn just got me more excited for what's to come. And the setup for WrestleMania, even better. So, what do we know for WrestleMania? Well, we do know that Jey Uso is going to take on Gunther. We know Cena's going to take on Rhodes. Rhea Ripley's going to most likely take on Bianca Belair. If she can surpass Io Sky, which probably she will. And we got Tiffany Stratton taking on Charlotte Flair for the women's championship, and a bunch of other matches that could be set up later. For example, of course, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, because Randy Orton did come out and try to, came back from his so-called injury. I'm using kayfabe to explain that. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest could be a good setup for WrestleMania. Obviously, we know what SmackDown's going to do for the tag team titles. Braun Breaker in talks of having a multi-man match instead of facing AJ Styles one-on-one. But again, the future is uncertain. And I hope Saturday Night Main Event returns back in about 3 weeks. So that would be a good little, that'd be a good little setup right there. We know that Roadblock is coming soon. Yeah, it's coming soon. Roadblock for NXT. If you guys want to check that out, you can watch NXT on the CW. But yeah, this has been the Elimination Chamber review. I hope you guys like this. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for what the future has to offer with Cena turning heel. But my God, damn, I don't know. I'm speechless. It's gonna be fun. It's going to be fun to see where WWE leads with this. So, again, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a stream from us. I will be back Tuesday to review the Raw after the Chamber, see if we got some insights, what we could be leading to the WrestleMania. I'm going to talk to Lewis and see if he can get up on the podcast, or he can get up on here for Tuesday. If not, back to regular, back to me. Oh! Now, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I was wondering where we were going with this. One more thing to mention before I head off. Big news. Me and Lewis did talk. I thought of this for a long time. Never done it before. But I am so giving and wanting to give back to the company that basically I was growing up watching for basically my entire teen life. And as an adult, I want to now be a part of course, the watch-alongs. So, here to announce to you guys, I am officially announcing that this channel will be doing a WrestleMania watch-along April 19th, April 20th, WrestleMania Easter. It will be there. I promise you guys, we will be watching WrestleMania on Peacock on the other side of the room, because you guys don't know, the other side is where we watch the pay-per-views. But yes, we will be doing a WrestleMania watch-along. The camera will be up. I'll have the whole screen. You'll see, like, you don't see it here, but you will see that the whole, where my face is, will fill up the whole screen, and you'll see that other side of the room. You won't see the mic, you won't see the headphones, you won't see the computer, but you damn well will see us sitting there watching the event of WrestleMania. We'll have the thing muted so WWE can't really copyright us on audio. So, yeah, the camera will be up on the TV there, and it's a high fucking TV. It's 50 inches. It's crazy. But we will be there to watch both night 1 and night 2. Wait until I will be setting up the stream like I usually do for, like, Raws and SmackDowns. You guys see, you know, I set up, like, the Raw and SmackDown review streams after I do them. That same thing will be happening for the WrestleMania watch-along around a month before the pay-per-view happens. So you guys, you know, you guys get a month to kind of figure out your plans. If you guys have nothing to do, you can always come and watch us, and we'll be there. Lewis will be here for the SmackDown after, or the SmackDown before WrestleMania. He will be here for WrestleMania both nights, and I will be taking that Monday, the 21st, off, hopefully, to give you guys the review of WrestleMania. Okay? So, WrestleMania watch-along is confirmed to happen for us, and I cannot wait for it. But until then, I'll see you guys Tuesday. I will also see you guys Saturday for the Raw and SmackDown reviews.